Bella and Shelley are sisters and best friends. One weekend, their parents went on vacation. Before leaving, they strictly forbade Bella and Shelley to have parties in the house. But the sisters didn't listen and invited all their friends as soon as their parents left. After the party, the entire house was a mess. So, Bella and Shelley hired a cleaning lady to get rid of any evidence of the party. When their parents arrived home, their mother, Jessica, began to yell, "I told you, no parties in this house!" How did she know? The house is too clean. There was dust on this glass vase when the parents left, but now it's fresh and clean. Jessica asked Bella and Shelley to mow the backyard lawn. None of the sisters wanted to do this annoying task. So, Shelley offered an easy way out. She put 2 cards in a hat and said, "I wrote mow on the first card and chill on the second. Pull a card and choose your destiny." Bella wasn't so naive. She suspected that Shelley was cheating and put both cards with mow written on them. But no one would believe her if she just tried to expose Shelley. And no one would look at the other card once her fate was decided. What should she do? When asked to draw a card, Bella should pick any and destroy the paper without looking at it. In this case, to decide her fate, they'll have to look at the other card, which also says mow. And this will mean that Shelley should mow the lawn. Over a cup of tea, Bella bet Shelley $10 that she could convert her $50 into $100. Do you think Shelley should accept the bet? There's no logical reason behind accepting it. If Bella isn't able to convert the money, she'll lose the bet. But she has only $10 to lose. Meanwhile, Shelley is supposed to be giving her $50 from her wallet. Thus, even if Shelley wins the bet, she'll still lose $40. Bella and Shelley have a certain number of candies. If Bella gives 1 candy to Shelley, they'll have an equal number of candies. But if Shelley gives 1 candy to Bella, then Shelley will be left with half the number of candies that Bella has. Can you find out the number of candies they have right now? Let's use some math to figure it out. Right now, Shelley has X candies and Bella has Z candies. Now we can sum it up in these equations. X plus 1 equals Z minus 1. Therefore, Z minus X equals 2. Also, X minus 1 equals Z plus 1 divided by 2. Now we know that 2X minus Z equals 3. So, if we equate these two conclusions, we'll get the following. X plus 2 equals 2X minus 3. Now we know that X equals 5 and Z equals 7. Therefore, Shelley has 5 candies and Bella has 7 candies. Shelley was doing laundry and found out that her favorite t-shirt got torn. Can you count the exact number of holes in her t-shirt? The answer is not 3 or 6, which most people must be guessing. The correct number of holes is 10. 1 hole for the neck, 2 holes for the arms, 1 hole for the torso, 3 holes in the front, and 3 holes in the back.
You pass by the dining room and hear some strange noises. Someone is obviously tired and breathing heavily. You look inside and see 2 guys at the table. They're arm wrestling. One of them looks angry and aggressive. He's shaking his hand and trying his best. The other is calm. Who do you think will win? The guy on the right. He holds onto the edge of the table and doesn't waste his strength on unnecessary movements. He will defeat the angry opponent. You enter the trends room. You heard a lot about this subject and a young teacher who has a unique approach to the science of popularity. She tells you that she has asked all her students to create a new profile in the social network for their pets at the beginning of the semester. Now, all the students must show the number of subscribers and likes. The one who has the most popular profile will get a high score on the exam. Students show photos of their pets: mini pig, hamster, cat, goldfish, chameleon, dog, goose, hamster, raccoon. All the photos are pretty popular, but 2 of them are fake. Which ones? The hamsters. 2 students have identical photos. They must have found those online. You're observing a pseudo-philosophy exam. The teacher gives blank sheets of paper to all students. Then he says, "There's a lot of supposedly philosophical phrases on the internet that seem too pretentious, obvious, and stupid. People love to attribute quotes to famous persons that they never said. So there's a person who can say anything that can be true or false. They can say both good and bad things, and no one in the world can prove that this person didn't say that. The authorship of this person is unquestionable. Who is this person?" After 5 minutes, the students give back their papers. They all have names of famous athletes, scientists, billionaires, and entrepreneurs on them. No one has passed the exam except for one girl. She wrote just one word. Which one? Anonymous. You walk around the school and hear someone screaming. Several students are running away from the biology classroom. They say a poisonous snake has escaped from the terrarium, and now it's crawling in the room. It's too dangerous to have lessons here. You call the rescuers, but to catch the snake, you need to find it. Look around carefully and find the reptile. Take a look at the picture with snakes in the far corner of the room. One of these snakes is real, as its tail goes beyond the painting. Your next problem is in the parking lot. The professor of magic tells you that someone has punctured a tire on her car. Apparently, one of the students took revenge on the teacher for a bad grade on the exam. Fortunately, there's an extra tire in the trunk. But here's the problem. You don't have 4 bolts to attach it. How can you help the teacher? Unscrew 1 bolt from the other 3 wheels and attach them to the new one. Each of the 3 wheels has 3 bolts now. That's enough to get to the nearest car service. You come to your office to take a nap, but hear a sudden cracking noise. You find pieces of glass in the yard. Someone has broken a window on the 3rd floor with a stone. You need to figure out who did this among 3 suspects: a cook, a gardener, and a student. The cook says he was in the kitchen making burgers. The gardener claims that he was watering the roses in the garden. The student says he was sitting in the library at the time. Which one of them is lying? The gardener. One of the students has cut those roses, remember? So the gardener didn't have any roses to water. Finally, the day is coming to an end. All students have passed their exams and are going home. You walk through a long corridor and hear a knock. Several people are stuck in the gym and can't get out. They've lost their keys, and the door only opens from the outside. You need to help them, but where can you find the keys? You have the drawer in your office with the keys to all the school doors, remember? You unlock the gym. Then, you finally sit in your office and watch YouTube. You've solved all the problems. You deserve a good rest now.
When it was finally time to board the plane, it turned out that there were no more economy class seats left. Kim and Ashley were offered to fly in business class.
Oh, yes.
There, the girls saw 3 people. When the flight attendant served them fresh juice, she whispered that Kim and Ashley were extremely lucky. They were about to travel next to a famous Italian billionaire. Can you guess which of these passengers is the billionaire? This glamorous lady is a good candidate, but it's very unlikely a billionaire would wear a 100% polyester coat. This guy's business suit is very elegant, but look at his shoes. They seem quite cheap and worn out. This funny gentleman must be the real billionaire. Although his outfit is rather casual, his gold watch looks very expensive. The glamorous lady began to chat with Kim and Ashley. She told them she had recently visited an exotic island with her friends. Then she showed the girls some pictures. When the lady went to the restroom, Ashley whispered to Kim, "This woman is a liar. She photoshopped this picture."
Oh.
How did Ashley know that? It's all about the shadows. They all look natural, except this one. People are sitting in their seats. The lights turn off. Someone is chewing popcorn. Someone is drinking soda. The movie starts. This is a horror movie. Someone screams. The ticket taker enters the hall. Several people haven't paid for their tickets. Guess who? No one has a ticket here. Free entrance, the note pinned to the back door claims. Once, on a cold winter night, someone stole jewelry from a famous singer's house. The thief didn't manage to run far away because a police car was passing by. The burglar hid the bag with the jewelry in the snow and disappeared into the crowd. Detective Anderson managed to catch two suspects. Look at them and try to guess who robbed the singer. If you dig snow with your bare hands, they will turn red. This man has red fingers and palms. But that woman could dig snow wearing a pair of gloves, so she could be the thief too. But she wouldn't be able to run in such high heels. After the meeting, Zoe unboxed a delivery from a popular writer. He sent Zoe his new masterpiece in secret. Zoe didn't say anything about this to her colleagues. But one of them was actually trying to steal the script. Can you guess who this person is? It's the assistant. He's using his front camera to take pictures of the mirrored ceiling while Zoe is looking through the script. You're walking along the beach. Suddenly, you hear a scream. A woman is calling for help. She's drowning. You run into the water and swim toward her. As soon as you approach her, you see three more people. They're all screaming, but only one of them needs help. The rest are mer people who want to take you to their kingdom. How can you find out which one is human? Dive under the water to see who has a fishtail. Richard likes abandoned buildings and old castles. Today, he's going to check a huge house that belonged to a vampire a long time ago. Well, that's what the legends say. Richard certainly doesn't believe this. He takes his camera and sets off. It's dark and cold inside the house. Crackling sounds are coming from the corridor. Richard shines a flashlight and sees three vampires. Richard starts running away, but then he stops and returns. It seems these vampires are fake. How did the guy understand this? There's a mirror on the ceiling above the first vampire, and he gets reflected there. The second vampire has no fangs. The third one? Uh-oh, he seems to be real. Better run. Now, Richard wants to visit an abandoned hospital. There are rumors that werewolves live there. Richard is sure it's a myth. He's walking around dark hospital wards all night, but finds nothing. He's about to leave, but four men block the exit. They are howling and growling. Which of them is the real werewolf? No one. The full moon is shining through the windows, but these people haven't turned into monsters. But still, Richard runs away. It seems these guys are really crazy. A rich man comes to an exhibition of modern art. He's going to buy a new painting for his collection. The owner of the exhibition shows him 3 works of different artists. In the first picture, there's a green triangle with a sunflower in the middle. The second painting is of a tiger taking a selfie on its phone. In the third picture, there's a flying house. The collector is sure that one of the paintings is fake. Which one? Each canvas has the artist's signature and the date when it was created. The painting with the tiger is dated 1957. There were no mobile phones and selfies at that time. This picture is fake.
Gemma entered a haunted house to take pictures. But suddenly, someone closed the door and locked her inside. She spent the whole day in total darkness. Then, the lights turned on, and a creepy clown appeared in front of her. "There's a game I want to play with you," he said. The clown offered Gemma 3 bowls of soup. 2 of them are poisoned and 1 is safe. If she chooses the safe one, the clown will set her free. Can you help Gemma to make a wise choice? Ingredients in the first soup look like pills. The second soup contains suspicious blue carrots. Probably these are not safe, therefore the green one is safe. Can you find a hidden number in this picture? That's right, it's 9175. Can you find a hidden number in this picture? That's right, it's 341. But I'm sure you'll manage to spot a hidden number in this picture. Well done, it's 900. Take a look at this picture. Can you spot the owner of this dog? The red-haired lady is the owner of the dog. Take a look at the dog's collar. It has a picture of the owner. Paul worked in a large company. He left the office to have lunch one day, but he didn't find his car in the parking lot. He immediately called the police. The police soon found the car and started to chase the criminal. But the criminal left the car and ran to the park. The police caught 3 suspects. Jill said she was jogging in the park. Peter was waiting for his girlfriend. And Amy was walking and enjoying nature. Who stole the car? Amy. Although she was enjoying nature, she had the same key that had gone missing. Can you find a hidden dice among all these pieces of cheese? It's over here. Although it looks like cheese, you better watch your teeth. Take a look at this pattern. Can you spot an odd detail? This bunch has more grapes than the others. Let's dive into the water for a while. The bottom of the ocean is full of life, but can you see any fish? It's hiding over here. Here's an eye challenge to read a blurred quote. Can you see this phrase? It says, "Well done is better than well said." Can you spot a panda and a soccer ball among all these snowmen? The ball is over here, and the panda is hiding in the right corner. The evening before his girlfriend's birthday, Kevin arrived at her office quite late to decorate her desk. He pretended to be a pizza delivery guy to get past the security, but when Kevin finished with the decorations, he realized that the building had already been closed and all the guards had left. Kevin found a locker with several tangled wires. Help the guy out. If he just opens the door, the alarm will go off and the police will arrive immediately. One wire turns off the alarm, another is responsible for fire detectors, and the third one turns off the cameras. Which wire should Kevin cut? The green one. Can you figure out what animal is hiding behind this pattern? That's right, it's a dog. Now, let's make this task a bit more complicated. What animal is hiding here? That's right, it's a panda. Police officers are chasing a thief who has just robbed a jewelry store, but he has managed to hide in a women's clothing store and put on a female outfit. Help the officers identify the robber among these women. This elegant lady on the right is wearing the same sneakers as the thief did during his escape. Look at this picture. Can you see any animal? It's a crocodile. Great job. Eric got caught in the rain and decided to hide in an abandoned house. But as soon as he stepped inside, the front door disappeared. A mysterious voice said, "The only way to get out of here is to push open one of these doors." But the first door is covered with dangerous acid. The second door is unbearably hot. If he touches the third door, he'll get an electric shock. Which door should Eric choose? The guy needs to take off his rubber boots and put them on his hands. Then he can push the third door. Rubber will protect him from electricity. There are many different animals in this picture, but can you spot identical pairs? This couple of birds, these hares, and the owls. Other creatures don't have identical twins. Look at this picture very attentively. What do you see? Is it a spiral or several concentric circles? These are black and white concentric circles. You probably saw a spiral, but this is just an optical illusion. Try to squint your eyes or move your finger around any of the circles. Daniel came home after work and realized his house had been burgled. The police suggested that the robbery probably took place around lunchtime. The officers questioned 4 ladies who lived next door. All of them told the police that they had had a road trip together. They had to stop to change a flat tire on their way back from another city, so they got home late at night. But then, the police officer decided to interrogate the ladies separately in different rooms. They heard their answers and arrested them immediately. What question did the officers ask? The women said they had to deal with a flat tire on their way home. When the officers questioned each of them separately, they asked each lady which tire had been damaged, and their answers didn't match. Supermarket manager Mike was counting daily revenue late at night. Suddenly, the fluorescent lamp above his head began to blink. Mike climbed on a chair to fix it. But when he touched the lamp, he burned his hand, fell from the chair, and lost consciousness for a while. When he came around, the guy noticed that all the money had been stolen. He called the police and told them his story, but when a police officer arrived, he arrested Mike. Why? Unlike other light bulbs, fluorescent lamps don't heat up. Mike couldn't burn his hand. This means he's lying. Let's test your spatial reasoning. Look at this pyramid. Can you figure out how it looks from above? The third option is correct. What about this figure? The second image is the correct one. Now look at this colorful cube. How does it look from above? The fourth variant is correct. Jennifer worked as a manager in a large supermarket. One morning, she received a strange text message. "There's a thief among your customers. Beware." Jennifer ran out of her office and saw 3 people who looked suspicious. Can you find a thief among them? It's this guy. If his arm was really broken, he wouldn't be able to carry a basket. Take a look at this pattern. Can you find 2 identical butterflies? They're over there.
A mysterious, daring thief committed a series of bank robberies in the city. The criminal is acting with a unique style. He leaves enigmatic pictures with 2 symbols at each crime scene. Detectives are confused. But thankfully, a police dog helps them track traces and leads them to an old house in a creepy neighborhood. The detectives find 3 suspects, but each of them has a strong alibi. Mr. Wildrose says, "I was busy celebrating my birthday with friends." Mr. Showberry says, "I was visiting a nighttime art exhibition, but unfortunately it wasn't allowed to take pictures inside." And Mr. Greenman says, "I had to stay home because I was sick. My mother was taking care of me, so she can verify my words." Can you spot the thief? Do you remember the picture of the crime scene? It shows a snowflake and a berry. This hint points to Mr. Snowberry. The detectives arrest Mr. Snowberry, but he finds a way to escape from his cell. The policemen are chasing him around a 2-story jail building. Mr. Snowberry hides on the roof and decides to jump off it. Can you guess why he decided to jump instead of climbing this tree? If he climbs the tree, he'll disturb these birds. They'll fly away and the police will notice him. Mr. Snowberry jumps and blacks out. After a while, he wakes up and finds himself locked in a small room. Mr. Snowberry looks around and finds a door. He tries to open it, but it's locked. He notices 3 buttons on the door. There's a circle on the first button, a triangle on the second one, and a square on the third button. He doesn't know which one he should press to unlock the door. Luckily, he finds a note with 3 numbers, 12, 4, and 8. Can you guess which button he should choose? There's a clock right above the door. and it's here for a reason. If we draw lines connecting 12, 4, and 8, we'll get a triangle. So he should press the triangle button. Mr. Snowberry manages to escape. He's starving and makes a stop at a restaurant. The waiter brings 2 trays of food. There are 3 differences between these meals. Can you spot them? Ready to see the correct answer? Here they are.
Yes!
The policemen spot Mr. Snowberry at the restaurant. They begin to chase the criminal, and he hides in this street. Can you help them find Mr. Snowberry? He's over here. Finally, Mr. Snowberry ends up in jail. But the city is shocked by another crime that happened in a historical museum. Someone stole an ancient emerald statue during an exhibition. This artifact is expensive and very rare. So the detective starts his investigation immediately. He finds 3 suspects who were standing close to the crime scene. But each of them denies any involvement in the theft. Jeff says, "I was recently released from prison. I'd like to recover my reputation, so I avoid any trouble with the law." Peter, who claims to be a writer, says, "I would never risk my reputation for the sake of some stupid statue." And Frank says, "Sir, I'm a billionaire. I have enough money to buy this entire museum." Who is lying? Frank. He said he's a billionaire. Why would he wear a fake brand? Molly's kitten is missing. She's looking for her pet in the park and comes across these 3 strangers. One of them stole her kitten. Can you guess who? The first lady is just holding a bag with a toy cat. The second lady is pregnant. But the third guy is hiding a real kitten under his clothes. A weird incident happened at Mr. Green's hotel. All the fish disappeared from the aquarium. It's late, so Mr. Green suspects only 4 employees. Bobby, the porter, says, "I spent the whole day carrying guest bags, so I simply didn't have time for any thefts." The cleaner, Amy, says, "When I arrived at work, the aquarium was already empty." The waiter, Harry, says, "I was working all day, so I didn't walk near the aquarium." Meanwhile, Mary, the manager, says, "I don't like fish at all. I prefer dogs." After hearing their stories, Mr. Green knows for sure who stole the fish. What about you? Take a look at the puddle on the floor. Seems like Harry has recently gotten soaked, probably because he was trying to catch the fish from the aquarium. Oh no! Lauren checks into Mr. Green's hotel. In the lobby, she meets 3 porters who offer to take care of her luggage, but only one of them is trustworthy. Can you guess who? The first porter wears 2 watches, one on his left hand and one on his right. The left watch is too big, so it's probably stolen.
Really?
It's not safe to trust your luggage to a thief. And the third porter is a ghost. His feet don't touch the ground. Therefore, Lauren should trust the second guy. Me? I just get out of that hotel. Anyway, Lauren goes to the local nightclub. Kyle, Tom, and Nick invite her to dance. But only one of them is safe to dance with. What's your guess? Tom wears a leather jacket with sharp spikes.
Oh.
He can accidentally scratch Lauren while dancing. Take a look at Kyle's feet. It looks like he's about to turn into a werewolf.
Oh my god.
Lauren returns to the hotel and finds out that someone stole her favorite necklace from her room.
Oh god.
She runs to the lobby and faces 4 people: a manager, a janitor, a guest, and a porter. She asks, "Who stole my necklace?" But everyone swears to have nothing to do with the robbery. Can you help Lauren find the thief? It's the manager. She hid Lauren's necklace and her glass of water.
What?
The next morning, Lauren is having breakfast in the garden. Suddenly, somebody pulls a paint bucket prank on her. Take a look at the hotel guests. Can you figure out who did it? It was definitely the first guy. There are paint stains on his pants, and the color matches the prank paint perfectly. In the garden, Lauren finds something very curious. It's not alive, but it has 5 fingers. What is it? A glove. Mr. Green enters his office and finds a pleasant surprise on his desk. Someone brought a huge box of his favorite chocolates. Mr. Green questions his employees, but everyone swears to have nothing to do with the gift. The cleaning lady, Glenda, says, "Sir, I haven't entered your office room yet. I was too busy cleaning the bathrooms." The hostess, Holly, said, "I entered your room 2 hours ago to bring some documents. I didn't notice any chocolates." And the manager, Kara, said, "Wow, I had no idea you like chocolates. I started my shift 30 minutes ago and I didn't leave the lobby." Who's the secret admirer? Can you guess? According to Kara, she didn't enter Mr. Green's office, but she dropped one of her hairpins on the floor. Mr. Green invites Kara for lunch at the local buffet. There are 4 meals that they can enjoy: pizza, pasta, salad, and sushi. However, some of these meals are not safe. Can you figure out which ones? This pasta contains shoelaces, so it's not safe to eat. And there's a bee sitting on the sushi. It can sting, so this option isn't safe either. Lauren goes for a walk in the forest. Suddenly, she sees a weird cave with mysterious lights.
Oh my god.
She enters the cave and gets teleported to a parallel universe. Can you help her spot the difference between this reality and the normal world? This lady is wearing shoes on her hands. Well, that's weird. Lauren meets a wizard who promises to send her home. But first, she has to crack his riddle. Spelled forwards, I'm what you do every day. Spelled backward, I'm something you hate. What am I? If we spelled live backwards, we'll get evil. So the correct answer is live. Harry and Larry are twins. They were born in May, but their birthday is in June. How is this possible? Well, it's possible because May is a town. Gotcha. Sarah is a PhD student at UTC. She lives in a big house with 4 other students from her program. One Friday night, she went out for coffee, and when she returned home, she found her super expensive laptop was missing. It had her top-notch research in it. She suspected that one of her housemates might have stolen it, so she decided to conduct an investigation. Alex, the oldest of them all, said he had been working in his room all day long and that he had been so focused on his work that he didn't see or hear anything out of the ordinary. Ben, who was one of Sarah's best friends, said he had been watching TV in the living room while she went out and hadn't seen anyone go in or out of the house. And Chloe, Sarah's apprentice, said she had gone out for groceries about the same time Sarah had gone out for coffee. After hearing all of them out, Sarah knew immediately who had stolen her laptop. Can you guess who did it? It was Chloe. She said she had gone out for groceries. But Ben was in the living room the entire time and didn't see anyone leave the house. She probably stole it to see the secret things Sarah had been working on. It's a rainy morning in New York City, and 3 influencers are waiting for a cab in the rain. One of them is in Brooklyn Heights, the other is in Chelsea, and the last one is in Bushwick. Take a look at the image. Can you tell who is going to get wet first? It's definitely the one who is in Bushwick. See how the rain is coming from behind her? That umbrella is not going to help very much. A group of friends were backpacking through Europe during the summer. During the last week of their trip, they decided to go to Italy. They spent the morning visiting ancient ruins, and by lunchtime, they were ready for some pasta. They sat down at a local restaurant and ate delicious Italian food. But when it was time to pay the bill, they noticed their wallets were missing. Since they didn't have money to pay for their meal, the restaurant owner called the police. As soon as the police arrived, they questioned each one of the travelers. "I remember seeing Alice with her wallet before we left the hostel," Emily said. "Well, I did have my wallet with me, but it might have fallen in the last Uber drive we took to get here," Alice said. "I'm sure I had my wallet with me when I got to the restaurant, but I just can't seem to find it now," Jake said. "My wallet was in the bag the whole time, but I just noticed someone opened it and left it open," Lily said. The police officer wasn't sure whether the group of travelers was telling the truth, so he asked to see the restaurant security footage. Take a look at the image. Is the group of friends lying or telling the truth? They were telling the truth. Look at that suspicious guy that entered the restaurant. He pretended to be a waiter to get close to the table. But he stole all of the travelers' wallets. Yike! We're talking a master pickpocket here. A small town only has 3 detectives. Since they all claim to be the best detective in town, the mayor came up with the ultimate challenge to determine once and for all who is the best. On that evening's TV announcement, the mayor said, "My cat Whiskers just went missing today, and I need the best detective to find him within 24 hours." The town's detectives, Toby, Juan, and Chloe, got to work immediately. Each of them adopted a different investigation method. Toby thought it was best to interview the mayor's neighbors to see where they had last seen Whiskers. Juan searched the town's main open public areas, such as the parks and playgrounds. And Chloe decided to follow the thin trail of cat fur and footprints starting from the mayor's place. Can you guess who found Whiskers first? It was Chloe. By following the trail left behind by the cat, she found Whiskers a few miles away from the house and won the title of the best detective in town. Liam was a famous engineer working at Gentech Corp. He had recently won an award for inventing an AI-driven robot assistant. One day, he arrived at work and found that his highly secured lab door was open and his robot was missing. His lab was protected by high-tech security devices, so he knew the person who broke in knew what they were doing. He accessed his computer logs and found a sequence of numbers that looked out of place. The numbers were 12, 9, 6, and 5. At the bottom of the page, a 4-spaced box appeared, asking for a key. He tried typing the numbers in, but they didn't work. He reflected upon them for a while and realized they were hiding an encrypted message. He discovered that the numbers translated into a word. Can you figure out what the message was hiding? Liam understood that the numbers were referring to a letter of the alphabet. The 12th letter is the letter L, and the 9th letter is the letter I. So, the sequence makes up the word LIFE, which is pronounced life. He inserted the word LIFE into the box at the bottom of his computer, and 4 different videos opened up on his screen. Each one of the videos showed a different location. The first video showed a park right next to Liam's office building. The second video showed an electric car shop. The third video showed Liam's living room, and the last video showed a theme park. Liam guessed that these images were a clue to where his robot might be. Can you help him choose the most likely place where the robot could be? If you look closely, the robot's legs appear in the first video. Liam headed down to the park, hoping to find his robot assistant. As soon as he arrived, he saw the robot sitting on the park bench alone. Liam looked extremely confused. He went up to the robot and asked it how it managed to escape the lab. It said it would only answer Liam if he correctly guessed what phrase was hidden in this enigmatic image. Can you help Liam figure it out? Oh, this sure is a clever robot. The phrase hidden in this image is, "I have my own life." I guess this AI robot was asking for some space of his own, huh? The robot finally admitted he escaped from the lab by himself. Liam was shocked because this was not programmed at all. When he tried entering a command to make his assistant follow him back to the lab, the robot multiplied into 2 other virtual robots. Liam wasn't paying attention at the moment, so he got confused as to which one was the original robot. Can you tell? It's the third one on the right. See how the sun reflects on its metal, but not on the other ones? Meanwhile, it was Johnny's 7th birthday, and the family decided to celebrate with a picnic at the park. The entire family was there, including the 2 dogs, Luke and Obi-Wan. During a game of throw and catch, Luke went missing. The family searched the nearby woods but couldn't find their pet. That's when they decided to call the police office. The police listened attentively to each family member's account. The dad said that he had seen Luke chase a squirrel deeper into the woods. Mom said she had heard Luke barking from the riverbank. Emma, Johnny's sister, said she had heard Luke barking from the meadow. Ethan, Johnny's older brother, said he could have sworn seeing Luke head toward the park's old bridge. Based on each one of the family members' accounts, where should the police officer look for the dog first? He should start at the old bridge. Ethan was the only one who gave a specific direction to where the dog might have headed, so that's probably the police's best guess for now. Oh look, there's Luke. He has a unique bark. Darth, Darth.
It's Lily's birthday, and Leah offered to treat her to a spa day. They arrived at the marvelous Pink Lotus Boutique Spa for their day of treatment and were sent to different rooms. One of the women received a text on their phone saying, "Be careful. Take a look at the image." Can you tell which friend is in danger? It's Lily. The drink on that waiter's tray is definitely poisoned. She should get out of that place as fast as she can.
Hello.
Jonah woke up in a different timeline. Normally, he was a straight A student, but in this reality, he was a pretty bad student. His teacher put him in detention to see if his grades would get any better. During detention time, he had to solve some puzzles. For each puzzle he solved, he got points that would help him raise his grade. His first task was to find the difference between both images. He only had a few seconds, though. Can you help? Yep, that one on the right didn't have the scribble on the paper. For his next detention challenge, Jonah had to spot the difference between these two rabbits riding a motorcycle. Don't ask too many questions, just help him out. Yep, it was the helmet all along. Dana is a swimming champion preparing for her competition on Monday. 24 hours before the big day, she disappears. Nobody can find her. Her mother calls the police and asks them to investigate the crime, and they come up with 3 suspects. All of them are swimmers. Hannah says she hasn't spoken to Dana since their last practice. Ashley explains that she invited Dana for lunch on Saturday, but Dana refused because she was getting her hair done for the competition. And Melanie says that she spoke to Dana the night before. Dana told her that she was feeling anxious before the race. One of the swimmers is lying. Who is it? I mean, it's definitely Ashley. It doesn't make sense for a swimmer to get her hair done before a swimming match. It will get wet anyways. Daniel is a sailor on a large cruise ship. One day the captain asked him to go to the ship's lowest deck and get some supplies. But as the man was walking down the ladder, it broke and he fell down. Try as he might, he couldn't get out. And oh no! The situation was worse than he thought. There was a hole on the ship's hulk, and water was starting to fill the lower decks. Take a look around. Is there anything Daniel can do to save himself? Yep, he could put on a life jacket and wait for the water to fill the lower deck. He will simply float upwards, and then he can climb up those stairs again. I mean, if that ship doesn't go all Titanic, right?
Yeah.
Amelie was exploring her grandmother's closet when she came across something spectacular. A time machine. She set the date back to the 16th century and pressed go. She spent the day exploring a local market, but people kept looking at her differently. One man came up to her and said he knew she was a time traveler. He locked her in his basement and said he was going to look for where she hid the time machine. Amelie was so frustrated she got caught and was afraid she might never go back to her real life. That's when she saw that the basement had an old piano. Do you have any clue how Amelie can use that piano to escape? That's a tricky one, but she should play it until she finds the right key. You decided you needed to go on an adventure, so you packed your backpack and went hiking the Appalachian Trail. The thing is, since this was your first hike ever, you planned poorly. Your water only lasted for a day, and you needed a refill. There are 4 sources of water before you: a pond, a lake, a juicy cactus, and a stream. Which one should you drink water from? Most cacti are toxic, so you should keep away from them. The waters from the pond and the lake are stagnant water, so this means they could be filled with stuff that isn't good for you. So that leaves the stream water. Way to go, you. Oh, yeah. It's getting rather late, and you realize you're lost in the middle of the forest. Your phone's GPS is not working, and you're standing at a fork in the road. You can choose between 4 roads leading north, south, west, or east. The path that heads north will lead you to a black hole. The road that leads south goes through a lake full of huge whale sharks. The one that leads east passes through a crater-sized hole. And the one that leads west will take you to a sky-high mountain that is impossible to climb over. Which way will you choose? You should head south. Whale sharks pose no threat to people, and it's probably not true that they exist inside that lake. I mean, they are sea creatures. Harry has spent the last 2 weeks in Egypt exploring ancient pyramids. He's an archaeologist, and he was looking for some groundbreaking discoveries on the history of the mummies. Inside one of the pyramids, he found a secret chamber. Written on this chamber's walls was this: if one can answer correctly, an ancient secret will be revealed. And right below this, Harry found a riddle. The next answer that should escape your lips should be the creature wrapped up in cloth strips. Can you guess what Harry should answer? Mummy! He should simply say the word mummy. Tom escaped from prison by digging a long tunnel in the floor of his cell. He had been crawling through the underground tunnel for 3 hours when he saw that the main tunnel was divided into 3 smaller ones. The first tunnel was on fire. The second tunnel was home to a nest of venomous snakes, and the third tunnel was filled with explosives. Which tunnel should Tom take to continue his prison break? He should choose the tunnel with fire. He can put the fire out with the dust from the ground and make his way to freedom.
Yeah!
Sierra wanted to go to her favorite band's concert, but she didn't have enough money to buy the tickets. Her local radio station was putting on a contest, and the winner would get tickets to the show. All she had to do was answer their riddle correctly. She called the radio station, and they asked her, "Every night I'm told what to do, and each morning I do what I'm told. But I still can't escape your scold. What am I?" Sierra won the tickets. Can you guess what she answered? The correct answer is an alarm clock. Sounds just about right, doesn't it? Amy woke up on an estranged island. She looked everywhere for something that could help her escape and found nothing. In the following days, she continued to look for something that could give her some direction, and came across 3 torn pieces of paper that could be joined to make one. She put everything together and managed to escape the island by water, using no other resources than the things she found. Can you figure out how she managed to do that? This one is tricky. Nothing was the name of the boat she found abandoned on the island.
Ooh.
Then she found torn pieces of paper that together made up a map. The map helped to guide her to the nearest inhabited island, and the boat helped her get out by water.
Yes!
Mirabelle walked into her father's deli and asked for a sandwich to go. When she looked to her right, she noticed something extremely out of the ordinary. Take a look at this image. Can you tell what it was? Turtle is hiding under the counter. This sure isn't normal.
Now, the Smith family's having a Christmas party. They snap a couple of family photos. Can you find a fish, a glove, and an egg in this picture? Over here. Leah owns a pet shop. She brings a cage with 5 new puppies, puts it on a table, and goes to the storeroom to get some dog food. In a couple of minutes, she returns and finds out that one of the puppies is gone. That's weird because the cage is locked. Leah questions 3 witnesses. Rosemary, the customer, says, "I came here to choose toys for my cat. I didn't even notice the puppies." Mark, the salesman, says, "I don't know where the puppy is. No one bought anything while you were absent, so I guess someone stole the pup." And Frank, the janitor, says, "Sorry, I was cleaning the aquarium from algae, so I didn't look around." Who's lying? It's Frank. The aquarium doesn't look like it's just been cleaned. Can you find a cat among these dogs? It's over here. Take a look at this picture. Can you sort an odd guy out? This face has different eyebrows. Detective Smith receives a call from a concert hall. Someone broke into the dressing room and stole a very expensive antique flute. Smith goes to the crime scene right away. No one had left the building since the robbery, so his task is to find the criminal as soon as possible. Smith questions 3 witnesses. Cassandra, the opera singer, says, "I was talking to reporters in the lounge hall. I heard weird noises from the dressing room. It's nearby." Chester, the guard, says, "I didn't see any new faces entering the building today." And Bianca, the piano player, says, "I was on the phone arguing with my husband. He decided to skip my concert. Can you believe that?" Who's the thief? Cassandra. The flute is hidden in the flowers that she's holding in her hands. These 3 ladies seem identical, but one of them is different. Can you spot who? The lady in the middle has a different lipstick color. Take a look at this picture of friends hanging out together. There are 3 couples among them. Each couple consists of a lady and a guy. What's your guess? Who dates who? These 2 people on the right are pretty comfortable with each other and they don't really care about others. So my bet is that they're a couple. Psychologists say we tend to turn toward people we like most in a group. The dark-haired lady and the red-haired guy are turning towards one another. So they must be the second couple, and the blonde lady is dating this guy on the left. It's the first week of the semester. Mike arrives at the college dorm. He fills the fridge with chicken sandwiches made by his granny and leaves for classes. In the evening, Mike opens the fridge and finds out that all of his sandwiches are gone. Oh, no. He shares this fridge with 3 other guys, but they swear that they didn't touch his food. Mike doesn't believe them. He asks about what they were doing all day. Dave says, "I was partying with my girlfriend all day, so I had to skip classes." Nick says, "I was feeling sick, so I just stayed in the dorm and watched my favorite show." And Ethan says, "I was in the library getting ready for tomorrow's finals." Who's lying? Ethan. Finals take place at the end of the semester, not at the beginning. Harry is a jewelry store manager. He noticed that every month, 1 pair of earrings goes missing. Harry suspects the cashier. The first time it happened, she was forgiven. The second time, the sum was withdrawn from her salary. And the third time, Harry fired her.
Really?
But the theft happened for a 4th time. When it occurred once again, Harry decided to go through the security camera footage. Here are some of them made in May, June, July, August, and September. Do you see anything suspicious? In each of these recordings, there's a man with a cast. If he really had his arm broken, it would heal in a month or a couple of months. But it's been 5 months. So the cast is obviously fake, and he's the thief. So does Harry owe his former cashier an apology? What do you think? Oh, no. Sheila is a chef in a fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
She arrives at her workplace early in the morning. Wow, someone has left chocolates and flowers for her in the kitchen.
Ooh.
Only 3 people are here at this hour. Sheila questions them. Tilda, the cleaning lady, says, "I arrived here first. I cleaned the kitchen, and then I went to tidy up the tables. I didn't notice any gifts." Jacob, the waiter, said, "I entered the restaurant 2 minutes ago, put on my apron, and went to chat with Mia. I haven't entered the kitchen yet." And Mia, the hostess, says, I came here 10 minutes ago. I stayed in the lobby and applied makeup. Why would I bring you any gifts? Who lied? Jacob. He doesn't wear an apron.
Oh.
Mr. Green is a landlord of an apartment building. None of the residents are allowed to have any kind of animals, but one of the residents complains about hearing cats from the neighboring apartment. Look at these two places. Can you guess where a cat secretly lives? Take a look at the first apartment. The sofa is stretched on the bottom. These aren't human traces, so the cat must be living here. Several months later, someone complains about dog barking. Mr. Green checks 2 neighboring apartments. Can you help him spot where the dog is living? Hey, it's over here. There's a dog collar hidden among the pillows. Josh needs to log into his mom's laptop to delete files he accidentally sent. He doesn't know the password, but his mom always leaves notes with passcodes around in case she forgets herself. Here's the only note Josh could find. Can you help him guess the passcode? The key is to count the number of figures in each picture. The first figure implies 1, the second, 4, the third digit is 3, and the fourth one is 2. Kim works in a fancy boutique in New York. Everything here is expensive, and most clients pay by credit card. But one day, she got a client who got a purse, a wallet, and a dress.
Okay.
All that cost her $3,990. The woman decides to pay in cash. Kim refuses to sell the items to the client and calls the police. Why? She tried to pay with $2,000 bills that don't exist. Anna participates in a game show and wins 3 exclusive gifts: a Givenchy purse, Chanel sunglasses, and a Ferrari sports car. But here's a catch. She's to pick her gifts, choosing between the original and a replica. Ready to help her pick the correct prize? Here are 2 bags. What do you say? Which one is fake? The second logo is an original.
Yes!
Now, there are seemingly identical pairs of sunglasses, but only one of them is the original Chanel. Which one? Only this one has the correct logo. And now, let's see if you can spot the original Ferrari car key. It's over here. Sam owns a flower delivery shop. He arrives at his workplace after lunch and finds out that the most expensive white lilies are torn apart. Oh, no. Only 4 people are working here with Sam, so he questions them. The sales lady, Emma, says, I was on the phone with a client. He wanted red roses instead of white. Jeff, the florist, says, I was having lunch too. I'm not sure I locked the storage room before leaving. I don't know who did it. Phil, the delivery guy, says, I just returned from my latest assignment. I haven't seen or delivered any lilies for weeks. And Rose, the SMM manager, says, I was too busy editing pictures for our social media. Who lied? Well, there are lily petals in Phil's bicycle basket. Therefore, he lied.
Hey, Brightsider, I see it in your eyes. You need a new riddle workout urgently. Here it goes. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Your first task is to rearrange these letters to spell a single word. What will you get? A single word, of course. The answer was actually in the question itself. How many letters are in the alphabet? The answer might be a bit less straightforward than you'd prefer. You probably already knew that the answer wasn't 26. It would be too simple. There are 11 letters in the words the alphabet. There was a green glass door in the middle of a big city. Rumor had it something mysterious and beautiful was hidden behind this door. A group of friends found the door and tried to go through it. Interestingly, Amanda, Anna, and Oliver managed to sneak inside, while Lauren and Sebastian weren't even able to open the door. What do you think? Will Mark get inside or not? Mark will easily open the door and go through it. Only people whose name contain an even number of letters can do it. Imagine you have 3 eggs. Now I give you 5 eggs. Then your rooster lays 2 more eggs. How many eggs do you have? Just those 5 eggs I gave you. Your imaginary eggs don't count, and roosters don't lay eggs. Look at this picture attentively. Can you figure out which of these 3 men is the boss? It's the man on the right. Do you see that his suit jacket is hanging on the boss's chair? No matter who's standing behind the desk, he's the boss. Now a bit of math for you. How can 4 be half of 5? It's actually possible if we use Roman numerals. Look, this is IV. And it's indeed half, 2 letters out of 4, of the word 5. The next riddle for you. Turn me on my side and I'm everything. Cut me in half and I'm nothing. What am I? I'm the number 8. When on its side, it looks like the infinity sign. But if you cut it in half, it'll turn into 0. I can't talk, but I'll answer you if you speak to me. What am I? I'm an echo. It's orange and sounds like a parrot. What is it? It's a carrot. It belongs to the month of December, but not any other month. It's also not a holiday. Then what is it? The answer is simple. The letter D. It helps you from head to toe. The more it works, the smaller it grows. What is it? It's a bar of soap. How can a pocket have something in it if it has nothing in it? If it has a hole in it, it can definitely have nothing else. It goes up and down, but never moves. What is it? It's stairs. Can you name 4 days of the week that begin with the letter T? To crack this riddle, you need to think a bit outside the box. These days are Tuesday, Thursday, today, and tomorrow. A is B's father, but B isn't A's son. How is it possible? B is A's daughter. What is always in front of you, but you can't see it? It's your future. When I point up, it's bright. When I point down, it's dark. What am I? I'm a light switch. What has to be broken before you can use it? An egg. Can you find a mistake in this picture? It's the wristwatch. Such watches are always manufactured with the crown on the right side. Look at these teapots. If teapot A contains 40 cups of tea, how many cups of tea can teapot B hold? Even though teapot B is larger than teapot A, its spout is placed at the level that corresponds to the middle of teapot A, which means that if you pour inside more than 20 cups, the tea will start overflowing. In what case is this equation correct? When we're talking about time, 1 p.m. plus 20 minutes is the same as 2 p.m. minus 40 minutes. A few college students went camping. They were dancing near the campfire when it suddenly started raining. The campfire got extinguished. One of the students, Eden, had a flashlight and some batteries, 8 in total. 4 of them were charged and 4 were not. Eden didn't know which batteries were charged. What is the least number of attempts Eden will need to light up the flashlight? Eden will need 7 attempts. See for yourself. He'll need to put batteries into 3 groups, 2 groups of 3 and 1 group of 2. It guarantees that at least one of the groups will have gotten 2 working batteries. Each group of 3 requires 3 attempts to verify if 2 batteries of the group are working, while the group of 2 needs 1 attempt. So the total number of attempts is 7. Amy overslept this morning and she's going to be late for work.
Oh, no.
She gets ready, runs to the bus stop, and hops on the only bus waiting there. Uh-oh, it seems to be the wrong bus. There are 3 doors at the back. The driver tells Amy that only one leads to safety. Behind the first door, there's a giant elephant that will step on anyone who isn't gray. Behind the second one, there's a tiger that will eat anyone who isn't orange. Behind the third door, there's an anaconda that will swallow anyone that isn't green.
Uh-oh.
Amy also sees 2 buckets of paint. One is yellow and the other is red. Which door should the girl choose? She should mix the red and yellow paint to get the orange color, paint herself, and head out through the second door. You're heading to the underground parking to get your car when the electricity goes out. You see a glowing 3-digit PIN code lock on your car. On the floor, there's a piece of paper with 009 written on it. You enter the number, but of course, the attempt is unsuccessful. If only everything was so simple. Can you figure out the correct code? All you need to do is flip the paper upside down, and you'll get the correct number. It's 600. John is looking for a gift at a shopping mall. One of the stores has a mysterious extension that leads to a vault filled with diamonds and gold jewelry. As soon as he walks in, the owner pulls the bars down and locks him in the room. He tells John he has to eat one of the 3 cookies lying on the table. Then he'll be set free and get the treasure. The first cookie will turn John into an animal. The second cookie will make him a giant. The last one will make him invisible. Which one should he eat? The first one. He can turn into a mouse and squeeze through the bars. That's how he'll get out and win the gold. Mark and Amy were parents to a boy called Jacob. One day, Mark's laptop disappeared and nobody in the house could find it. They called the police. When a detective arrived and searched the scene, he found a note on Mark's desk. It was written by Jacob. The note read, "Wow!" The detective immediately figured out who had taken the laptop. Can you understand it too? It was Amy. If you turn the note upside down, it'll read, "Mom." One day, a public library made a strange announcement. Each member could borrow as many books as they wanted. They also didn't have to return them for the next half a year. Why? The library was moving to a new building, but they didn't have enough money. And this way, the patrons would move most of the books by themselves.
Do you have an eagle eye? Let's check it out. Look at these pictures and try to figure out what's wrong here.
Yeah.
Looks like a pretty usual scene to me, but something seems to be off. Can you understand what it is? The bus doesn't have any side mirrors or windshield wipers. How about this picture? What's wrong here? See that man in a yellowish shirt? It seems that he's holding his umbrella over his head. But in reality, the umbrella is floating in the air. The man isn't touching it. Oh, that's nice. Seaside and palm trees. But a few things are definitely off in this image. How many can you find? First of all, what is that tap that is pouring water into the sea? Then, that girl on the left is definitely dressed too warmly for the seaside. Instead of flowers, this young lady is holding some broccoli. And this girl is building a sandcastle with the help of a fork. Okay, the next image for you. Are there any mistakes here? Have you noticed that this electric cord is ripped? It's very, very dangerous and may cause a fire. These people seem to be having a blast at the pool, but not all of them are doing it correctly. Who's made mistakes here? This guy on the left has forgotten to take off his boots before diving into the pool. That young lady has brought along an iron. No one cares about this duck with its ducklings enjoying a swim. And that lifeguard is playing the sax instead of watching people. If you noticed all those mistakes, great job. The next image is for you. What's wrong here? Have you spotted that colorful snake slithering next to the wall? What is it doing here? As far as I know, Santa Claus isn't supposed to be in the classroom as well. Then that girl is using a carrot instead of a pen. And the guy in the bottom right corner is brushing his teeth, right in the classroom. Here we see people walking in the park on a lovely sunny morning. But not all of them are doing reasonable things. Can you find out what's wrong with this picture? Is that a tiger? I'm not sure you're allowed to bring these animals to parks. Instead of a kite, this girl is playing with a bathtub. This elderly lady is eating a blue apple, and there are two suns in the sky. Ah, it explains everything. It must be happening not on Earth. Look at this picture. Where is the bank robber hiding? He's over there, behind the bushes. The bank robber has managed to escape from the police. Try to figure out where he's hiding now. See that maintenance hole? That's where the criminal is. This robber is just too fast. He's escaped again and is now hiding in one of these fitting rooms. Help the police find him. He must be in the middle fitting room. See that bag with all the cash he has stolen? Look at this image carefully and try to figure out what's wrong here. In reality, the guy is holding a tube of toothpaste in his left hand, but in the reflection in the mirror, he's got nothing in his hand. How about this picture? What's wrong here? Is this lady charging her cat? This picture looks off too, but what exactly seems strange? It's the girl in the front. She isn't reflected in the water. Now, the next image to challenge your observation skills. Does anything strike you as odd in this picture? Look at the TVs. They show different things in reality and in the reflection in the mirror. Now, let's wind down a bit. Don't take this next riddle seriously, okay? What do you call a fish that wears a bow tie? You call it sophisticated. Got it? Another one for you. What time is it when an elephant sits on a fence? Duh, it's definitely time to fix the fence. What kind of band never plays music? A rubber band, of course. Tear me off and scratch my head. What once was red is now black. What am I? I'm a match. And now, a bit of math. How can you move one number to make this equation true? Move the number 2 half a line up, and you'll get this. Now, you're in a library, trying to get a book, you knock a chair over. All of a sudden, there are 22 pairs of eyes looking at you. How many people are there in the library? There are 12 people. 22 eyes most likely belong to 11 people, plus you, 12 altogether. Look at these hands. Which one doesn't belong here? It's the hand in the fourth picture. It's the only one which is left. Mark needed to get some documents from his colleague's safe. If he didn't, he'd get fired the next day. But it turned out to be a tricky task. The safe had a password, and Eric had no idea how to crack it. It was a combination of letters, OTTFFSS, and the last 3 letters are missing. Can you figure out what they are? The missing letters are E and T. All of them are the first letters of the numbers from 1 to 10. Ms. Nelson, an art teacher at school, had to organize an event, and a big concert was a part of it. But the event had to take place the next day, and she still needed to find one more performer. There were several talented students at her school, and she decided to invite them. But Daniel, who played the guitar very well, told his teacher that he had lent his instrument to a friend and wouldn't get it back anytime soon. Sophia, who was an amazing singer, answered the teacher that she had a sore throat and couldn't sing at all. And Luna, who was a professional dancer, claimed that just a few days before she had sprained her ankle, and the doctor had prohibited her from moving this leg too much. Ms. Nelson was very upset, but could do nothing to change the situation. But when she saw these 3 students at the concert the next day, she found out that one of them had lied to her. Who was it, and how did she understand? Luna had lied to her teacher. If she had sprained her ankle, she wouldn't be able to wear high heels. 3 college friends met after a summer break. Each of them wanted to boast about how cool their vacation was. Lily described how she and her boyfriend had gone to Paris and seen the city from the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Yay!
Dylan told his friends that he had traveled to Africa with his parents. But on their last day, there was a massive volcanic eruption, and it didn't spoil their rest only because they flew back home that day. And Ellie said that she had visited her uncle in Texas and learned to ride a horse. She even participated in some competitions. Of course, all the stories were great, but one of them was fake. Which one was it? Dylan's story was fake. He couldn't fly home on the day of the eruption because when something like this happens, all flights get canceled. A man called the police. "My wife, she got in a car accident." When the police arrived, the woman had already been rushed to a hospital. The detectives found out that she had crashed into a tree right next to her house. One of the police officers examined her car and saw the woman's bag. Inside, he found her driving license and a car key, some money and bank cards, a notebook, and her passport. After that, The husband was immediately arrested. Why? How could the woman's car key be in her bag if she had been the one driving?
Yeah.
Hey, my talented bright side detectives! Today I have something exciting for you. It'll let your brain do a little workout and have fun at the same time. Let's start, shall we?
Yeah.
Look at this picture very attentively. Can you spot a fake princess? There's a price tag on this princess's tiara, so this girl is most likely not a member of the royalty. There are a lot of delicious products in this picture, but you'll never be able to cheer one of them up. Which one is it? A blueberry, because it's always blue. The next task is pretty tricky. You need to connect all the dots with just 4 straight lines. Let's see how you deal with this challenge. That's how you do it. Easy peasy. Just kidding, I actually failed this task. Now, can you make 4 out of these 3 sticks without breaking them? Yeah, you can. That's how it can be done. This is what I call creative thinking. Can you figure out what's wrong with this picture? This dice is all wrong. It has 7 dots on one of its sides, but it's impossible. The largest number of dots is 6. Look at this image. What word do you see there? A pot, the @ sign, aka aspirand, and a toe. Right, that's potato. The next one, a surfer and a spider web. What could it mean? If you figured out that this puzzle means surf the web, you're very smart. The next tricky riddle for you. You need to guess the brand hidden here. Look at the image attentively. Every small detail counts. The brand hiding here is Pringles. See? P-Ring-Goals. Clever, huh? The next task for you. Guess the food hidden in this puzzle. A small hint, you can grow this product. Cauliflower. That must be cauliflower. Look at these emojis and guess the word. It's colorful and often appears after the rain. Yep, we're talking about a rainbow here. Okay, now look at this t-shirt and try to count how many holes it has. Keep in mind that this riddle may be a bit trickier than you think. I hope you didn't only count those nasty ripped holes, because those aren't the only ones this t-shirt has. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those holes are indeed ripped. And 8. Did you get it right? Another tricky puzzle for you. How many watermelons are here? There are 5 watermelons. Look how it works. Nice, right? It's time to put your attention skills to the test. Can you find the odd unicorn here? It's this one. The orange patch of its mane is missing stars. Look at these guys. Can you figure out who's living alone? The man on the right has 2 toothbrushes, so he's probably living with someone else. The man on the left, on the other hand, seems to be living on his own. How can you move just one match to make this equation correct? There are actually 3 ways to solve this puzzle. Either you make it look this way, or it can be 8 minus 3 equals 5. Or you can remove this match and get this. Now this is truly puzzling. 2 plus 2 equals fish. 3 plus 3 equals 8. 7 plus 7 equals a triangle. What does it mean? And how is it possible? The answer lies in the shape of these numbers. 2 and 2 turned this way indeed looks like a fish. 3 and 3 create a pretty 8. And 7 and 7 do look like a triangle, right? Use just 3 of these balls to get 30. A tiny hint, you may need to think outside the box and get creative. Just rotate this 9 and you'll get 6. And then 13 plus 11 plus 6 is indeed 30. Look at these people attentively. One of them sneaked out of the house some time ago and has just returned. Now they're pretending to be sleeping, but we know better, right? So who's the rule breaker? It's this girl with red hair. She's still wearing her shoes and they look wet. Maybe it's raining outside. Now this picture has lots of tiny details and it's going to be challenging to find the odd Grinch here. Can you do it? It's this one. Look, he's missing his fluffy headphones. And now, how about we train your detective skills? Larry's granddad was a wealthy man who loved playing pranks on his relatives. That's why when he passed away, no one could find his will. But one day, 5 years later, Larry was looking through some old papers. Suddenly, his breath caught in his throat. The document he was holding was his granddad's will. It read, "I hid all my money and other valuables at 2 p.m. sharp under my favorite cherry tree, right where its shadow ends. The one who digs it out will be my heir." Larry was going to be rich. He drove to his granddad's villa and found the cherry tree. He waited for an hour till 2 p.m. and started to dig. But try as he might, his efforts didn't pay off. Confused and upset, he had to return home. Why didn't he find anything? It's been several years since the granddad hid his valuables. The tree has grown taller and its shadow has become longer too. James disappeared after going hiking with his friend Matthew. In a couple of days, the police found Matthew tottering along the highway. When they picked the man up, he told the officers James had gotten into a swamp and hadn't managed to get out. Unfortunately, Matthew could do nothing to save him. After listening to the man's story, the police officers arrested him. Why? Just look at this guy, in a white t-shirt, cleanly shaven. How is it possible after several days in the forest? A man living in a small village in the mountains got his goat stolen. He was sure one of his neighbors was behind this crime. The head of the village invited 4 suspects and said, "I'm going to give each of you a magic trick. Bring them to me in the morning. By that time, the thief's stick will have grown by 5 inches." The next day, the head of the village examined the suspects' sticks. He immediately knew who had taken the goat. How? The thief's stick was 5 inches shorter than those of the rest. He had broken it, expecting it to grow longer during the night. 2 best friends, Jack and Tyler, went to a tropical island to surf and have some rest. After an active day at the sea, they bought a large watermelon and ate it. In an hour or so, Tyler felt unwell and lost consciousness. Luckily, he was taken to a hospital in time. The doctors managed to save his life. But both guys ate the same watermelon. Tyler didn't have any kind of allergy. Then how come Jack was perfectly fine? Jack didn't eat watermelon seeds, and Tyler did. Whatever substance poisoned him was in the seeds. Every day, Mark rides his bike to the railway station to get to the college. There are 2 stops near his home. One is a mile away from his house, and the other is 2 miles away in the opposite direction. In the morning, he always gets on the train at the first stop, and in the afternoon, he gets off at the second. Why? Mark's home and the stations are on the hill, and this method allows the guy to ride his bike downhill without any effort. An inventor created a time machine. He packed enough food, water, and other necessities and was ready to test his invention. He set the timer to go 500 years back into the past. He was about to press the start button when a thought came to his mind. He took the time machine and his supplies and went downstairs. Why? This way, he'll avoid a nasty fall. Multi-story buildings weren't common 5 centuries ago.
Okay, get ready for the ultimate attention test. Every smallest detail might turn out to be crucial. Let's find out how sharp your eyes really are. Look at these glasses. They're filled with water, and each of them has some object inside. Can you tell me which glass has the largest amount of water? If we compare the weight of these objects, we'll find out that the paperclip is the lightest. That's why the glass holding it has the largest amount of water. Among all these cute babies, try to find a sleeping one. Right, here it is. Wow, that was tricky. Bunnies, bunnies, bunnies. But I know for sure there must be an egg hiding among these cute creatures. Exactly. It's not another ear, it's indeed an egg. Look at these unusual equations. Can you figure out the values of the bee, wasp, and rabbit? The wasp is worth 10, the bee is 12, and the rabbit is worth 6. Now, to crack this riddle, you need to use all your attention skills. Mike was going to take his corgi to the vet, but the pooch has run away and hidden in the garden. Can you find it? Wow, that was a tricky task. Here it is, poor scared pup. A lot is happening in this picture, but you just need to spot one thing, a banana. A little hint, it might be hiding in a very unexpected place. This girl is wearing it as a hairband. Did you manage to spot it? Peter needs to take his dog for a walk, but it's raining outside and the pooch doesn't seem eager to leave this cozy living room. Can you help the guy find his pup? Here it is, near the sofa. It looks like a regular living room, but happiness is hiding here. How fast can you spot it? Here it is. Bingo! Liz followed her mom's order and went to bed without objections, but her mom suspects that her daughter hasn't brushed her teeth. If you manage to find a toothbrush in the girl's bedroom, her mother's suspicions are correct. The toothbrush is hidden on that shelf. Uh-oh, someone is going to be in trouble tomorrow. Despite cold winter weather, Mark set off on a photo trip. His main goal was to capture a bear on film. Unfortunately, Mark isn't very attentive. A bear is watching him, but he doesn't notice the animal. Let's see if you'll be able to help the guy and find a bear in this image. Right, here it is. What a curious creature. Look at this image. How many triangles can you see? There are 44 triangles here. Have you got it right? What seems to be odd in this picture? It's definitely the McDonald's sign, but isn't it too early for it? How good are you at math? We'll see in a moment. If A plus A equals B, B plus B equals D, A plus D equals E, then how much is B plus D plus E? It's the letter K, which equals 11. All these letters represent their positions in the alphabet: A1, B2, C3, D4, and E5. 2 plus 4 plus 5 equal 11, and that's the letter K. Now, look attentively. Can you find a car in this black and white image? Here it is, hiding in the corner. Now, this one is probably the trickiest riddle out there. I've spent ages trying to figure out the answer. Can you find a ring in this image? Here it is, placed on top of a carrot. Whew! Can you find the answer to this equation? The answer is 3. See for yourself. A cat equals 4, a mouse is 3, and cheese is worth 2. Then, 4 minus 3 plus 2 is 3. Take a look at these creatures. They all seem to be zombies. But in reality, just one of them is the real monster. Can you figure out which one? It's the girl on the right. She has an eye floating in her drink. Can you spot a werewolf among these men? Be very attentive to every detail. I hope you've noticed that large, beautiful full moon shining through the window. Then you must have deduced that none of these men is a werewolf. Otherwise, he would have already transformed. Your friend has invited you for a walk in the park. She offered you 3 places to choose from. Which one should you pick? A wolf is hiding in the bushes in the first park. In park number 3, there is a snake in the grass. Only the second park is safe for a nice long walk. Can you find 5 hearts in this image? Here they all are. How many of them have you managed to spot? There are 4 mistakes in this image. Can you find them all? One, the dolphin seems to be missing its flippers. 2, this thing on the girl's back doesn't look like an oxygen tank. 3, a butterfly at the bottom of the sea. 4, someone has written SOS on the sandy bottom. I guess it's pretty much useless. No one is going to see this cry for help anyway. Larry's mother asked the guy to do some grocery shopping. She gave him a shopping list and her bank card. But the woman knew her son was very absent-minded. That's why she gave Larry a small note in case he forgot the card's PIN number. When the guy was at the register, he realized he had indeed forgotten the PIN. Larry pulled the note out of his pocket and immediately remembered the PIN. Can you figure out what it was if the note had a fly, a cat, a person, and a snake drawn on it? The PIN was 6420. Larry just had to count the number of legs on each creature. Thomas loved asking his friends to solve all kinds of funny riddles. If they answered correctly, he helped them with whatever they had problems with. One day, Daniel came to Thomas and asked for help with his math exam. He knew the rules, though. He had to solve one riddle first. What kind of running leads to walking? Thomas asked. Do you know the correct answer? Daniel said, running out of gas, and he was right. But helping your friend with exam preparation is a difficult task. That's why Thomas asked Daniel to solve one more riddle. A woman drove from Seattle to Los Angeles. It took her 2 days to get to her destination. That's when she discovered one of her tires was punctured. Then how did she manage to get to Los Angeles? Daniel cracked this riddle. Can you do the same? The punctured tire was the spare one. Ooh, that was lucky. Detective Oliver Smith was leaving for work in the morning when he saw a man running out of his neighbor's house. He stopped the guy who said his name was Paul. He came to visit his colleague about 30 minutes ago and saw him fighting with a man. The door was locked and Paul couldn't get inside to help. While he was trying to find the way to enter the house, the criminal left. Paul entered and saw his colleague lying on the kitchen floor, unconscious. Oliver and Paul came into the house. Nothing seemed to be out of the ordinary, but after looking around the kitchen, the detective arrested the man. Why? Paul was the one to attack Oliver's neighbor. If his words were true, fried eggs would have already been burned after 30 minutes of cooking. Detective Parkson was working on a tricky case. One day he vanished. His colleagues found an encrypted note on his desk. It looked like this. The officers knew Parkson had 3 suspects: Milana, Susan, and Emily. Who had some information about the detective's disappearance? After some time, one of the police officers cracked the code. D plus 1 equals E, L plus 1 equals M, and so on. It was Emily who knew where the detective was. Well, aren't you the smarty pants? Good work.
Yeah.
Adam was driving home late at night when he noticed he was about to run out of gas. He stopped at a gas station to fill his gas tank and buy some snacks. Inside, there was a cashier and another customer dressed in black. When Adam came up to the employee to pay, she told him $5.05. Adam paid, went outside, and called the police to report an emergency. Why did he do it? The cash register showed $18.35, but the cashier said $5.05, which looks like SOS. You have a sock drawer. It has 4 black socks, 8 brown socks, 2 white socks, and 8 tan socks. You need to pull out a matching pair of socks in the dark. There is no light and you can't see the socks. Well, that'll teach you to pay your electric bill on time. Meanwhile, how many socks do you need to pull out in the dark to get 1 matching pair of socks? Five. You only have 4 different color of socks. If you pick 5 socks, you will definitely get 1 pair of matching socks. A fairy had an assistant, Dwarf Martin. Once, the fairy asked Martin to visit a powerful wizard and pick up 3 potions she had ordered. The dwarf received the parcel, but on his way back, he got into a real trap. In front of him, there were 3 doors, and he couldn't get past them. He had to go through one of them. But behind the first one, there was a bottomless abyss. Behind the second door, there were venomous spiders. Even their webs were poisonous. And the third door was hiding a raging fire. Martin couldn't choose the door, but he came up with an idea. He decided to use one of the potions the wizard had given him. He had the potion of invisibility, the potion of speed, and the potion of forgetfulness. Which potion should Martin drink, and which door should he choose? His best option is to drink the potion of speed and dash through the fire so it doesn't really hurt him. Detective Brown rushed to an expensive restaurant. Someone had stolen a gold spoon there. If the detective didn't find the real culprit, the waiter would have big problems. Luckily, there were still a lot of people in the restaurant, and Detective Brown questioned the main suspects. A group of friends said they were celebrating a birthday. They wouldn't spoil their party this way. A cheerful man said he'd just been wandering about and had dropped by to check out this place. And a weird-looking guy answered that his wife had left him, and he had come to the restaurant to take his mind off his problems. Can you help the detective find the criminal? The second man lied. He said he had been to this restaurant for the first time. But look, he's wearing a hat with the restaurant's logo. Gotcha. Look at these 3 people who seem to be having fun. They're hanging on a tree, but one of them is a ghost. Can you guess who it is? The woman on the left has just rolled her eyes. That's why she looks so creepy. The guy in the middle is wearing a mask. But unlike the others, the hair of the lady on the left ignores gravity. She must be the ghost. Brave warrior Richard set off on an adventure together with his 2 assistants. Once he came across a kingdom where a princess was locked in a high tower. Richard decided to save her and, who knows, maybe even marry her later. First things first, he went to the king, but the ruler didn't give the warrior any hints. Luckily, Richard's assistants found a secret map, but they weren't bright enough to figure out what it meant and which window of which castle Richard needed to climb into to save the princess. Can you help them? First, we need to determine which castle is the right one. Aha, here it is. Just look at its windows. Now, we just need to follow the arrows and find the correct window. Yep, that's right. A very large truck needs to cross a 20-mile-long bridge. Unfortunately, the bridge can only hold the weight of 10,000 pounds. Even a single extra pound will make the bridge collapse. Luckily, the weight of the truck is exactly 10,000 pounds. The driver moves the car carefully and crosses almost 85% of the distance of the bridge. He stops to get a small break when suddenly a bird lands on the truck. What's going to happen now? Is the bridge going to collapse? The bridge won't collapse. The truck has already traveled 85% of the total distance and has used some gas, so the extra weight of the bird doesn't add any extra load to the bridge. There is a boat with a ladder attached to it. This ladder is 8 feet long. If the water rises 4 feet, how much of the ladder will remain over the surface of the water? Still 8 feet. The rising water will lift the boat, and the ladder is attached to the vessel. Ruth had just moved into a new house and was busy with boxes. Meanwhile, while she was distracted, someone took her laptop. The girl went over to her new neighbors, hoping that one of them had seen something. Eric told her that he had been staying at home with a fever the whole day. Emma said she didn't even know a new neighbor was coming. And Jonathan said he just got home from his office. Who took Ruth's laptop? Look at Jonathan's car. It's covered with a thick layer of snow. The man lied. He hadn't been to work. One wizard catches people and then makes them choose between 2 doors. Behind one of them, there's an unfriendly, to put it mildly, dragon. And behind the other, there's a chest filled with gold. The ones who pick the right door become rich and are allowed to leave the castle. But if it's the wrong door, well, the outcome is much more tragic. There are 2 signs on the doors. One lies and the other is truthful. On the first door, it's written, "The treasure is here. The dragon is in the next room." The other sign says, "The treasure and the dragon aren't in the same room." Where's the gold? The chest with the treasure is in the second room. The second statement is true, which means the first one is false. Can you find all the emojis hidden in this picture? So how many have you spotted? There are actually 5 emojis here. Have a look. What about this picture? How many emojis can you spot here? Look at that, 6 emojis. Have you found all of them? A man is thinking about how fast his life is flying by. The day before yesterday, I was 34, and next year I'll be 37. The man hasn't made any mistakes in his calculations. Can you guess what day his birthday is? The man's birthday is on December 31st. He's thinking about it on January 1st. The day before his birthday, he was 34. The next day, he turned 35. A new year started the next day, and that year, he's going to turn 36. And he will be 37 the following year. Ooh, look at this! A car has crashed into a restaurant window, smashing it. Detective Harris has come to investigate the case. There are two suspects, Julie and Douglas, but each of them claims that the other person did it. Can you help the detective figure out who's lying? It's Julie. The tire tracks on the ground belong to her car. Look at these three men. They're at the airport. Can you figure out which of these guys is married? All these men are holding their passports and tickets in their hands. None of them is wearing a wedding ring. But if you pay attention to the man sitting on the bench, you'll notice that on his ticket, it's written family discount. So he must be the one who's married. Why did these TikTok stars get into a fight? Because they couldn't agree on who said what. Now they're all confused and need your help to sort things out. Get ready to play detective and match the statements to the stars. And don't worry, we promise there won't be any TikTok dances involved. Unless you want to. Let's get cracking. So here are some clues. There are 3 TikTok stars involved, Lily, Max, and Ava. One of them said, "I have the most followers on TikTok." Another one exclaimed, "My dance videos get the most likes." The TikTok star who claimed to have the most followers is not Ava. Lily did not make the statement about having the most likes. Let's analyze the given clues to determine which TikTok star made each statement. So, there are 3 TikTok stars involved, Lily, Max, and Ava. One of them said, "I have the most followers on TikTok." Let's assign the statement about having the most followers to one of the TikTok stars, Lily L, Max M, or Ava A. Another one exclaimed, "My dance videos get the most likes." Let's assign the statement about having the most likes to one of the TikTok stars, Lily L, Max M, or Ava A. We know that Ava did not claim to have the most followers, and Lily did not claim to have the most likes. Now we can determine the TikTok star who made each statement. Lily L did not make the statement about having the most likes. Ava A did not claim to have the most followers. Max M can be assigned the statement about having the most followers since Lily and Ava are ruled out. So the statements can be attributed as follows. Ava A, "My dance videos get the most likes." Max M, "I have the most followers on TikTok." Lily L, statement unknown. Nahoy, matey! You stumbled upon a trio of treasure chests, each with a fancy symbol etched on its interior. But fear not, me hearty, for there be a note nearby that give you the clues to unlock them. Think you got what it takes to match the right key to each chest and claim the treasure? Arr, let's find out. But before we start, remember there are some rules for you to follow. There are 3 chests labeled A, B, and C, and 3 keys labeled X, Y, and Z. Each chest has a unique symbol, a star, a heart, or a diamond. Each key has a unique symbol, a sun, a moon, or a keyhole. Only one key can unlock each chest, and only one chest can be unlocked by each key. Too many rules, right? Alright, I've got some clues for you as well. The key with the sun symbol does not unlock the chest with a heart symbol. The key with the moon symbol unlocks the chest with the star symbol. The key with the keyhole symbol does not unlock the chest with the diamond symbol. By analyzing the given clues, we can determine the key chest matching as follows. The key with the sun symbol does not unlock the chest with the heart symbol. Ooh! Therefore, we can eliminate the possibility of key X unlocking chest B. The key with the moon symbol unlocks the chest with a star symbol. Since the moon key must unlock the star chest, we can deduce that key Y unlocks chest A. The key with the keyhole symbol does not unlock the chest with the diamond symbol. Since the key with the keyhole symbol cannot unlock chest C, the only remaining key, key Z, must unlock chest C. Drawing from these deductions, we can guess the matching of the keys to chests as follows. Key X to chest C, key Y to chest A, and key Z to chest B. Once upon a time, a super rich lady kicked the bucket and bequeathed her massive fortune to her 4 kiddos: Amy, Ben, Claire, and David. But wait, there's a catch. Life's unfair, so each kid was to receive a different sum of money. Sorry, there's nothing I can do. That's the lady's last wish. Here are the rules. Claire must receive more money than David. Amy must receive more money than Ben. The child who receives the most money must have a name starting with the letter C. And the most important thing, the more letters in the name there are, the more money the kid gets. Time to play Who Gets What. Using the clues provided, can you figure out the order in which these lucky kiddos get their inheritance and how much moolah they each score? Based on the given conditions, we can deduce that lucky Claire must receive the most money. Next comes David with 5 letters in his name. Amy receives the 3rd highest amount, and poor Ben receives the least amount. Don't be sad, Benny. Money can't buy you happiness. Although Claire seems to be crying in a very extravagant car. In a quaint museum filled with precious artifacts, a valuable item has gone missing. The curator calls upon a renowned detective to solve the mystery. Here's what the detective knows. The missing artifact is not a painting, sculpture, or jewelry. It was stolen during the daytime, while the museum was open to the public. The thief did not use force to steal the artifact. The security footage shows a suspicious visitor near the exhibit at the time of the theft. The visitor was not wearing any gloves, and there are no fingerprints left behind. Can you help the detective uncover the missing artifact and identify the visitor who stole it? The missing artifact is a rare and valuable ancient coin. After carefully examining the clues, the detective realizes that the thief cleverly utilized a distraction. The suspicious visitor is a professional magician who specializes in sleight of hand tricks. Instead of physically taking the coin, the magician used his skills to perform a subtle trick. He pretended to take the coin, but quickly replaced it with a similar-looking counterfeit coin from his pocket. The detective deduces that the real artifact is still in the museum, cleverly hidden in plain sight. After inspecting the exhibit, the detective finds that the genuine coin is still on display, but it was switched with an identical counterfeit coin during the magician's visit. By carefully examining the remaining coins in the exhibit, the detective spots subtle differences in weight and design that distinguish the genuine artifact from the counterfeit coins. The detective then retrieves the real coin, which had been cleverly camouflaged amidst the forgeries. As a result, the detective identifies the magician as the visitor who attempted the theft, but realizes that the actual artifact was never truly stolen. The case is solved, and the valuable ancient coin is returned to its rightful place in the museum. It's time for a hilarious animal party, but the guests are causing a commotion with their unusual antics. Can you figure out which animals were invited to the party based on these clues? There was an animal with a big red nose telling jokes and making everyone laugh. There was an animal wearing a crown playing the trumpet. There was an animal with stripes juggling colorful balls. There was an animal with a long trunk serving delicious ice cream. Let's start with the animal with the big red nose telling jokes and making everyone laugh. Well, this shouldn't be taken literally. Who is famous for their red nose and jokes? Right, clowns. So the animal telling jokes must be the clownfish. Next one, the animal wearing a crown and playing the trumpet. Once again, don't take it literally. The crown symbolizes royalty, and the animal playing the trumpet must be the king of the party. Lions are often associated with being king of the animal kingdom, so it's the lion wearing the crown. Next, the animal with stripes juggling colorful balls. Stripes are a characteristic of zebras, and they have nimble hoofs perfect for juggling. Thus, the animal juggling colorful balls is the zebra. Last but not least, the animal with a long trunk serving delicious ice cream. The only animal with a long trunk is the elephant, and it's the fourth guess.
Hey dear friend, do you feel like your brain needs some action? I've got just the thing. Concentrate and try to prove you're the best detective out there.
Yeah.
One lady had two admirers. One day, she urgently needed cash, but both men told her they were not ready to give her money. At the same time, the gentleman promised to buy her whatever she wanted. How did the young lady get out of the situation? The woman brought her first admirer to a clothing store, where she chose an expensive coat. The man paid, and they both left. The next day, the lady came to the same place with her second admirer and acquired the same coat. The third time she visited the store herself in order to return one of the purchases. Voila! Neither of her admirers was going to suspect her of returning his gift, and she had the cash she needed. Two girls, Susan and Gabrielle, differed from other people. They always told the truth, except for their birthdays. On their birthdays, the girls only told a lie. One day, on June 15th, each of the girls was asked when her birthday was. Susan said her birthday was the day before. Gabrielle replied that her birthday was going to be the next day. The next day, the girls were asked the same question, and oddly enough, they answered the same. Try to figure out when Susan and Gabrielle's birthdays are. Susan answered yesterday, twice in a row, so she lied once and told the truth once, which means that one of these days is her birthday. Let's say Susan's birthday is on June 15th. On this day, she lied, answering yesterday. And the next day, she told the truth, answering yesterday. Likewise, on the 15th of June, Gabrielle told the truth, answering that her birthday was the next day. On her birthday, June 16th, she lied again, answering tomorrow. So, Susan's birthday is on June 15th, and Gabrielle has her birthday on June 16th. In a grocery store, Claudia and her husband Jack met Elon, who, oddly enough, was the grandfather of the wife of her sister's mother-in-law's only son. I know, it's a lot. What's Elon to Claudia and Jack? Elon is Claudia's grandfather, and besides, he is the father of Jack's mother-in-law. Melissa met her guests who came to her birthday party. Catherine came before Bob, Aaron, and after Raynon. Bob arrived before Raynon, and Timothy came after Aaron. Which guest arrived last? Timothy was the last one to come. Three guys, Dylan, Brandon, and Sean, are friends with these girls, Valerie, Polly, and Olivia. Soon, the company splits into pairs because it turns out that Polly doesn't like playing tennis. Dylan is Valerie's brother, and he often goes to the tennis court with his girlfriend. Brandon asks Dylan's sister out on a date. Who does Sean spend time with? Sean spends time with Polly. You want to send an expensive item to a friend. You have a box that is larger than the item itself. You have several padlocks with keys. The box has a ring that is more than enough for a lock. But your friend doesn't have the keys to any of your locks. What should you do if you can't send the key in an unlocked box as it may be copied? Put the item in the box and close it with a padlock. Send the box to your friend. The friend closes the box with his own padlock and sends the box back to you. You open your lock and send the box to your friend once again. He only needs to open his own lock. At school, in one of the classes, there were 4 pairs of twins. One day, all the students came to a school event with their parents, and it turned out that there were 85 people in total. How many students are in the class? Since each pair of twins most likely has different parents, then 4 pairs of twins and their parents make up 16 people. The remaining 69 people are ordinary students and their parents. Each of the non-twin students has 2 parents, so the number of non-twin students is 69 divided by 3 equals 23 students. So in total, there are 23 plus 8 equals 31 students in the class. Welcome back to our show. Before the break, Mr. Sanders here made it to our grand finale. How do you feel, Mr. Sanders? Nervous. Okay, now to win the main prize of $1 million, all you have to do is name 100 words that do not contain the letter A in 90 seconds. Start the clock. Can you help Mr. Sanders win the prize? He just needs to start counting really fast from 1 to 100. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There is no letter A in any of these numbers. Check for yourself. To crack this riddle, you need to think outside the box. A man gave one son 10 cents and his other son was given 15 cents. What time is it? It's 1:45. The man gave away a total of 25 cents. He divided this money between 2 people. Therefore, he gave a quarter to 2. Now, this riddle is kinda tricky, but I believe in your logical thinking skills. You can easily tile an 8x8 chessboard with 32 2x1 tiles, meaning that you can place these 32 tiles on the board and cover every square. But if you take away 2 opposite corners from the chessboard, it will become impossible to tile this new 62 square board. Can you explain why tiling this board isn't possible? Let's color our chessboard, alternating with red and blue tiles. Then we need to color all of your tiles. Half of each tile should be red, and the other half should be blue. Whenever you place a tile down, you can always make it so that the red part of the tile is on a red square, and the blue part of the tile is on a blue square. Since you'll need to place 31 tiles on the board to cover all 62 squares, you would have to be able to cover 31 red squares and 31 blue squares. But by taking away the two corners, you're taking away 2 red squares, leaving 30 red squares and 32 blue squares. There is no way to cover 30 red squares and 32 blue squares with 31 tiles, since these tiles can only cover 31 red squares and 31 blue squares. And thus, tiling this board is not possible. Jason agreed to look after his friend's dog while the guy was away. He fell in love with a cute little Pomeranian, but Jason's wife and kids didn't like the pup. One evening, the man came back from work and discovered the dog was missing. Jason called the police. When they arrived, they started questioning Karen, Jason's wife. The woman said she had been sleeping all day. Then the police officer asked, "And what were the children doing?" "They were playing in the yard. Then I told them to go inside and do their homework." After that, the woman was accused of kicking the dog out. How did the police officer figure out it was Karen? The woman claimed she'd been sleeping all day. But then, how could she tell the kids to go outside? Stephen called the police to report his valuables were missing. When the police arrived, the man told them his story. "I went on a camping trip alone. I just had gotten there and set up my tent when it started to rain heavily. I hurried to find some dry firewood. I left my bag with my wallet and all the documents inside the tent. When I came back, everything was gone." The police officers didn't believe Stephen and fined him for making a false call. How did they understand the man was lying? Stephen said he had set up the tent before it started to rain, but then why is there a big puddle inside?
So Nick and Oliver are twins, and they want to throw a birthday party. They have a limited budget, so they want to get as much yummy food as they can for the lowest price possible. Sure thing, they want to have some pizza. An 18-inch pizza costs $5. Wow, on what planet? Oh wait, this is hypothetical. Meanwhile, a 12-inch pizza costs $3. Oliver is a geometry geek, and he says it's better to grab one 18-inch pizza. Nick doesn't feel this way. So, what's bigger, one 18-inch pizza or two 12-inch ones? Well, there are two answers to that. Geometry claims the area of two 12-inch pizzas is equal to 226 square inches, but the 18-inch one is 254 square inches. Well, from this point of view, you'd rather grab an 18-inch one. But hey, geometry and cooking are two completely different things. So it's the weight that matters here. The more the weight, the more calories there are. So you know what to choose, and there will be enough pizza for everyone. Seems like Nick's right. How can you divide 5 pears among 5 people so that each of them gets a pear and at the same time 1 pear remains in the basket? Well, this one's pretty easy. No need to cut any of those pears. Just let one person take the pear right in the basket. There are 2 ropes, and each of them burns completely in 1 hour. There is also an ordinary box of matches. How can we measure exactly 45 minutes of time using only these objects given to us? There's a condition though. Ropes are not allowed to be torn. We set fire to one rope from 2 ends. It'll burn out in half an hour. At the same time, we set fire to the second from one end, and half of it will burn in half an hour. When the first burns out, we set fire to the second from the second end. From both ends, it will now burn out in 15 minutes. It will take 45 minutes in total. The passenger elevator rises to the 5th floor, twice as fast as the freight elevator to the 3rd floor. Which elevator will come first? Freight to the 3rd floor or passenger to the 5th, if they started moving from the 1st floor at the same time? Hey, have you noticed that the answer is hidden in the question? Yeah, a passenger elevator goes up faster. Okay, 4 players sat down one evening and played all night until dawn. When they finished playing, everyone counted how much money he had in his wallet. It turned out that during the night, everyone got $100 more, and no one lost. How can it be? Nope, these guys didn't play cards. These were musicians. They played as a quartet, after which they received their fee. Max has got to get up at 7 in the morning every weekday to get to work on time. Unfortunately, his alarm clock is not quite accurate. In 3 days, he's 9 minutes behind. Assuming that at 11 p.m. on Sunday, Max checks his watch and sets the correct time, when does the alarm actually go off on Tuesday morning? The clock is 3 minutes behind per day, or 1 minute every 8 hours. From Sunday at 11 p.m. to Tuesday at 7 a.m., there will be 32 hours. Thus, the clock will be 4 minutes behind and the alarm will ring at 7:04. One trader plans to go around 30 markets to find a suitable place for future trading. In his hands, he has 3 bags of apples that cannot be left at home. The merchant is forced to carry fruit with him. Unfortunately, everyone who enters the market with food must pay a tax, 1 fruit from each bag. How many apples will the merchant have after visiting all the markets if he's interested in keeping as many fruits as possible? There are some conditions. First off, keep in mind that initially, the merchant had 90 fruits. Next, remember that each bag can hold no more than 30 apples. And the last one, apples can be transferred from bag to bag. After visiting 10 markets, the merchant will completely empty 1 bag. The second bag will be empty after visiting 15 more markets. Now there are only 5 markets left, and the merchant will leave 5 apples there. He'll be left with 25 fruits, and he probably won't find a decent place for trading. I guess the merchant should start some small business online. 4 pairs of friends decided to go on a picnic together. Mary ate 3 sandwiches, Kathy 2, Lena 4, and Maria 1 sandwich. Jack ate as many sandwiches as his girlfriend Mary, Bob twice as much as his girlfriend, Alex 3 times as much, and Vincent 4 times as much as his girlfriend. Altogether, they ate 32 sandwiches. What's the name of Alex's girlfriend? It's Maria. Jack ate 3 sandwiches, and his girlfriend is Mary. Bob pounded down 8 sandwiches, and his girlfriend is Lena. Vincent wolfed down 8 sandwiches, while Kathy only ate 2. Alex ate 3 sandwiches, so his girlfriend is Maria. Hey, I can read your mind. If you don't believe me, then think of a number. Keep it simple. You'll have to do a bit of math here. And you may probably need a calculator to play this guessing game with me. So, you think of a number. Now, multiply it by 3. Done? Okay. Now add 6. Next step, you need to divide this number by 3. Now, subtract the number you thought of from the resulting number. Let me guess, as a result, you got 2, right? No magic involved, it's just a smart math riddle. It works with any number. The savannah was on fire. 3 lions and 3 zebras fled to save their lives. To escape the fire, they need to cross a river swarming with crocodiles. There was a raft nearby that can carry 2 animals at a time, and it needs at least 1 lion or 1 zebra on board. Also, the lions can't outnumber the zebras on either side of the river even for a moment. Lunch. So, how can all of them safely cross the river? First, a lion and a zebra should cross the river. The lion stays on the other bank and the zebra goes back. For the second crossing, the 2 lions take the raft, but only one of them stays on the other side. 1 lion returns. Next, 2 zebras cross the river. To send the raft back, there should be a lion and a zebra on it. Now there is a lion and a zebra on the safe bank, and 2 zebras and 2 lions on the bank that's on fire. For the next crossing, 2 zebras take the raft. Now all the zebras are safe, and the lion can bring his friends one by one. Mr. Daniels is a math professor. He wanted to make it simpler for his students, so he suggested an idea. Whoever can solve the problem he gives does not have to take the exam at the end of the semester. The problem was, how can the number 5 be half of 4? A. If you were Mr. Daniels' student, would you have to take the exam? Well, to solve the problem, you need to use Roman numerals and not Arabic, as we typically do. In Roman numerals, IV stands for 4 and V stands for 5. Seems like 5 is indeed half of 4, according to this logic. Ready for a short one? Of course you are. So, if it's an odd number, but if you take away a letter and it becomes even, what number is that? It's 7. Just take away the S and you'll get the word even. Yeah, I know. And this one is just a pro tip for you. If you ever struggle to learn all the digits in the pi number, just give up. There are trillions of them. But there is a trick to remember at least 7. Just say, how I wish I could calculate pi. There are 3 letters in how, 1 in I, 4 in wish, 1 in I again, 5 in could, 9 in calculate, and 2 in pi. You got 3.141592. Yeah, I could have used that.
Jill and Jim live in the US. One day, Jim goes on a business trip to Europe. Jill misses him very much, so she calls him up. She asks Jim to take a selfie and send it to her. He agrees. Jill gets furious as soon as she sees the picture. Jill: "You're a liar. How did Jill figure it out?" Europe and the US are in different time zones, but in Jim's photo, it's noon. That's American time. He never left the country. Can you find a zombie in this picture? Over here. What about this ski resort? Can you spot any zombies? Hello? And now let's see if you can find a zombie in this amusement park. It's hiding over here. The biggest bank in town was robbed last night. The local police investigate this case and find 2 suspects. They go to search their houses. The officer sees a clue and figures out who the criminal is. How did he guess? Let's take a look at the walls. There's the same picture in both houses. But this one is hanging upside down. There's probably a stash behind it. Busted. A teacher has 21 colored pencils. 7 red, 7 yellow, and 7 blue. She needs to divide them into 2 piles so that one pile would have 3 times fewer red pencils than the second one. And the second pile should have 2 times fewer yellow pencils compared to the first pile. How many blue pens would be in each pile? 0. The teacher had 21 pencils, not pens. Can you rearrange these crayons and make 4 triangles? To solve this mystery, you gotta think outside the box. Here's the correct answer. Let's make the task a little harder. Can you remove just 2 crayons to make 2 squares? Ready to see the result? There you go. Donna goes to a supermarket and spots something weird. 2 of these women are pregnant, but one of them just stole a watermelon. Can you guess who? It's the third lady. She's wearing high heels, not what pregnant women would wear to a grocery store. Kitty wakes up in a creepy basement. She needs to open this door to escape. Can you guess the right order to press the buttons? Kitty needs to make the word unlock from the first letters of each emoji. Therefore, she should press the buttons in the following order: unicorn, nose, lobster, onion, cactus, kiss, and voila. Today is Cassie's birthday. She brings a cake to work to celebrate with her colleagues, Stan, Gemma, and Rosie. Cassie unpacks the cake in the office kitchen. Suddenly, Granny calls, and Cassie goes outside to talk to her. After a while, Cassie returns and finds her precious birthday cake on the floor. She questions everyone. Stan says, "I was sending an important email, so I didn't look at the kitchen. But I think it was Gemma. She's just pretending to be your friend." Gemma says, "I went to the toilet to wash my hands. When I returned, the cake was already on the floor." And Rosie says, "I don't know what happened. I went to the opposite side of the room to turn on the coffee machine. I made cappuccino for everyone." Who's lying? The coffee machine is off, and all the coffee mugs are empty. Therefore, Rosie lied. She was busy doing something else while Cassie was away. Detective Bold is having lunch at his favorite cafe. He looks through the window and sees his neighbor Zelda rushing home. They both live next to the cafe. Suddenly, Zelda runs back and approaches the detective. Zelda: "Please help me. My apartment was robbed while I was out. I didn't touch anything. I just ran here right away to find you." Detective Bold goes to see the crime scene. He looks around and says, "Stop fooling around, Zelda. There was no robbery." How did he know? Take a look at this umbrella. Zelda carried it with her when she was rushing home, but she told the detective that she didn't touch anything at the crime scene. She just threw her stuff around the room to make it look like a robbery. Take a look at this fancy group of people. One of them is a real vampire. Can you guess who? It's the second guy. The first guy struggles with drinking this reddish beverage. The lady is just wearing a cosplay costume. And the guy on the right is taking a selfie, which means he shows up on camera. Therefore, he's a human being. Jeff calls the police early in the morning. Jeff: "My neighbor cut down a tree on my car." A policeman arrives soon. Policeman: "What happened?" Jeff: "My neighbor and I had a quarrel last night. When I was ready to go to bed, I saw him standing in front of my car. In the morning, I went out to drive to work and saw this. My car is pretty old, but he still has to pay compensation for the damage." The policeman questions Jeff's neighbor. He says, "Jeff is a bit weird. He's always trying to start a quarrel for no reason. I didn't touch the car. I was sleeping all night long." The policeman examines the car. and immediately realizes which of the neighbors was lying. Who cut the tree down? Can you guess? Jeff. He cut down the tree with this axe, and then tried to put the blame on his neighbor to hit him up for money. Mike is an astronaut. His team consists of 2 other people. They're twins, Rob and Bob. They go to Mars for a month to study the local life forms. Time flies by quickly, and today they have to return to Earth. Mike goes to say hi to his little crew, but he finds 6 identical people in the spaceship. Mike realizes that the Martians can take any shape. Whom should he take back to Earth? This astronaut has 3 fingers. This guy's hair color is different. This imposter has forgotten to put on human ears. And this guy has different eye color. So the real Bob and Rob are over here. What's wrong here? The goalkeeper is holding a tennis racket. Also, why do they need 2 hockey pucks? Shelly downloads a dating app hoping to find new love. She likes several guys. They begin to chat and share some selfies. All 3 guys claim to be single and living alone, but only one of them is telling the truth. Can you guess who? The first guy sent Shelly a selfie from his bathroom. He's wearing a bathrobe. But there's another silk bathrobe hanging in the background. It's pink and small. Why would he need it if he's living alone? And the second guy is obviously fond of jewelry. He's wearing a ring on each finger, including the ring finger. So he's probably married. Only the third guy is telling the truth. And Shelly should give him a chance. A dangerous criminal escapes from prison. The police are chasing him, and the trail leads them into a small village. They question the locals and check the fields. Soon they see a farmer in a cornfield. The detective asks him if he had seen any suspicious strangers around. Farmer: sorry, I didn't focus on what's going on around me. I was too busy dealing with my corn. It's getting dark soon, and I need to harvest as soon as possible. The detective immediately figures out that this guy is the wanted runaway criminal. How? Corn is not harvested like this, so he can't be a real farmer. Can you see any odd details here? The phone is unplugged, and the laptop is missing a keyboard. Can you spot anything odd? Take a look at this guy. His fishing style is pretty weird. What about this scene? What are they doing wrong? This lady is skating on the pavement. A new ice cream parlor opens up in Matt's neighborhood. He goes there to check it out. It's pretty crowded because they offer 1 free ice cream serving to each customer. Matt meets a pretty lady named Kitty in the line. He falls in love with her right away, but unfortunately, she's already married. Can you find her husband among these guys? It's the second man. He's the only one who doesn't hold any ice cream. And Kitty is holding 2 ice cream servings, 1 for herself and 1 for her spouse. The next day, Matt missed his alarm. And now he's late for work. His boss is going to be furious. Matt might even get fired. But wait a minute. It turned out that the big boss is out of the office today. He's having a last-minute business trip, so Matt can relax.
Yeah.
But suddenly, the boss calls him on the phone.
Hello.
Where are you? You got 10 minutes to get to the office. Matt replies, I am in the subway right now. Well, I got something I need you to do for me. Call me when you're in the office. Matt is a pretty genius liar.
Yeah.
How did he fool his boss? Matt had a subway noise track on his computer. He played it when he was on the phone with the boss. Clever. Matt enters the local bakery on the way to the office.
Hello.
The cook brings 2 trays with fresh tartines. Take your time and try to spot 10 differences between them. Ready to see the answer? Here they are. What about these 2 breakfasts? Can you find 10 differences? Over here. Matt arrives at the office. Oh no.
Oh.
Someone has changed the password on their corporate computer. It consists of 7 digits. Matt texts his coworker and asks about the new code. He receives the following reply. Can you help him figure out the code? The number of fingers implies the right digit in the password. So Matt should enter 1, 0, 5, 2, 3, 1, and 0. Matt is an illustrator. His boss sends some files and asks him to separate the images and add some colors.
Oh.
Unfortunately, all the layers are merged. Can you spot 6 different objects in this picture? Here they are. What about this one? Can you spot 11 objects? Over here. Matt's sister, Ashley, is getting married. He arrives at the event, and she asks him to take a picture of her with some friends. But someone pranks the bride in the middle of the photo shoot and spills paint on her beautiful dress. Can you guess who did it by just looking at this picture? It's the man on the right. He has a rope in his hands, and it's tied to the bucket. Ashley changes and the wedding goes great. After the ceremony, they throw a party in a restaurant. This place is very popular among the newlyweds. Matt faces 3 brides in the lobby and spots the fake one right away.
Hello.
What about you? It's the third lady. She's wearing regular jeans and sneakers under her dress. And also, she's wearing a wig. She must be just trying on a costume. The wedding dinner begins, and the waiters serve the first course. But suddenly, the lights turn off for 15 seconds. When the power is back again, Matt finds out that his golden watch is gone.
Oh no.
He questions 4 suspects. Karen says, I was eating the wedding cake when the light turned off. It was delicious. Nick says, I was talking on the phone with my grandpa. When it got dark, I just continued our conversation. David says, I was washing my hands in the bathroom. And Stella says, I was taking pictures of the food for my Instagram. The local cuisine is so fancy. Who's lying? Karen. She said she was eating the cake. But take a look at the wedding cake. It hasn't been cut yet. The dinner has just started. It so happened that Matt is spending the Christmas holidays with 3 of his ex-girlfriends. They go to a fancy ski resort in Alaska. It was the first day of vacation when Matt was found poisoned in his bedroom. The police interrogate his ex-girlfriends. All the 3 ladies went away that day, and Matt stayed in the hotel for a nap. Megan says, I was shopping all day long. Lola says, I went to the beach to sunbathe and swim. When I returned, I found Matt lying unconscious. And Sophie says, I went to the local coffee shop to write my novel. Nobody wanted to join me. Who's lying? Lola, it's Christmas time. So it should be very cold in Alaska. She couldn't swim and sunbathe outdoors. Finally, Matt gets better and leaves the hospital.
Yeah.
He returns to the ski resort and takes a look at the mountains. What are they doing wrong? This guy is riding a snowboard. He doesn't need ski poles. After the Alaska trip, Matt gets a new job in New Orleans. He finds a great apartment and moves in. 3 neighbors knock on his door to greet the new neighbor. One of these ladies is a real witch. Can you spot who exactly? The first lady brought a cake. It looks pretty innocent. The third lady brought a plant. Looking good too. But the second woman brought a basket with food. And there's a snake crawling around her gifts. Matt wakes up in a weird maze in the middle of the night. The only way to escape is to walk through this labyrinth. But unfortunately, there are 4 dangerous creatures waiting for him on the way. First of all, there's a gorgon who turns everybody she sees into stone. Secondly, a werewolf. It's a full moon, so he's very hungry. The third creature is a tree goblin. He can grab people with his strong branches, and it's impossible to get out. And finally, there's a siren who can use her singing to make you do anything she wants. Luckily, Matt has 4 magic potions which can be helpful. Each potion has a 24-hour effect. If you spill the first potion on anybody, they'll become silent. The second potion will make any creature very weak. The third potion turns anyone into a vegan. And the fourth potion causes blindness. Can you help Matt distribute the potions among the creatures correctly? Matt should use the silence potion to neutralize the siren, use the blinding potion against the gorgon, turn the werewolf into a vegan, and weaken the tree goblin. The next day, Matt receives a postcard. There's a note hidden in this face. Can you figure out the message? The features of this face form the word liar. Matt purchases a tour to see the sights of the state. He takes a nap on the train. After a while, he wakes up and sees that his tablet is missing. Matt interrogates 4 tourists nearby. Liam says, "Sorry, I was listening to the music and my eyes were closed. I don't know who did it." Willow says, "I think it was Ronald. He's very suspicious. Why would he need so many gadgets on a tourist trip?" Ronald says, "I have a bunch of my own gadgets. I don't need your old, outdated tablet." And Mary says, "I'm sorry, but I was sleeping. Can you spot the thief?" It was Mary. She hid Matt's tablet inside her magazine. Matt goes to the dining car. There he sees 4 tourists speaking an unknown language, so Matt can't understand them. But still, he manages to spot this lady's boyfriend right away. Can you see him too? It's the second guy. They have similar tattoos on their necks. Matt wakes up locked in an abandoned house. He finds 3 doors, but only one of them leads to freedom, and he has only one chance to find it. Hungry tigers are waiting behind the first door. There's a big fire behind the second door, and a werewolf is hiding behind the third door. How can Matt escape? He should just wait until the fire goes out.